Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Python course for beginners, and if you are a beginner or you want to switch to data engineering role or you have a plan to switch to a better company, then you have landed at a correct page. And if you like the video, then do subscribe, like and share my video. That gives me motivation to keep creating this kind of videos. So yeah, let's start.
So today we are going to see lecture 4. In that we are going to see tuple and set. And before that we have seen lecture 1 where we have seen print, variable, data types, comment, input and output, and we have solved one basic problem. And then after that in lecture 2 we have seen loops, in that for loop, while loop and conditional statement like if else, and then string and the functions of a string and the slicing, and then function how to define, declare and call a function. And then we have solved one lead code problem, easy level, based on a string. And then after that in lecture 3 we have seen list, and we have seen built-in functions for list, its properties, sizing. And then after that we have solved one lead code problem, easy level, based on list. Okay, after that we are today going to see lecture 4, tuple and set. Okay, so for now, like I already told you in my previous lecture, that you don't need to install IDE, but if you want to install an IDE, you can go ahead and search over the Google, and you are going to get a plenty of resources which can tell you or guide you how to download and install. But for now, I don't think it is required. You can come here like Python Online Compiler, just do the search on the Google Python Online Compiler, and you can land on this page and you can start practicing your problem over here. And most important, like I already told you, that you have to create an account over LeetCode, because you have to start practicing problem on the topics which we have already covered. Okay, क्योंकि अगर आप practice नहीं करोगे, then you are not going to be good at coding. So if you want to become a coder, if you want to land into a good job, then you have to start practicing. Only just sitting and looking and me coding, like, it is not going to help you. You have to start practicing by yourself. So it is very mandatory to go ahead and create an account over LeetCode and start practicing easy level problem. Start solving the questions on the topics which we have already covered. Okay, so now let's start. Like I said, today our topic is to see tuple, sets. Okay, and one basic problem we'll see. Okay, basic problem. Okay, so what is tuple? So tuple is basically a built-in data type, like we have string and list, and it is very much similar to string in some of the properties and similar to list in some of other properties. Okay, so for example, how to declare a tuple? To declare a tuple, what we can do, we can simply use parentheses. Okay, this will create an empty tuple. Let's see the type of this one. Which function we use to see the type of any variable? Type function basically. So let's see the type of t. What is it? Tuple. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, tuple. And suppose we want to declare a tuple with few elements, then again this is a tuple, and let's see the type of it now. We make it t1. Okay, this is again a tuple. And suppose if I want to declare a tuple with just one element, see, print type of t2, make it t2. Let's make it t2. Okay, so t is my tuple, t1 is tuple, t2 is tuple. Now we can see here that this is okay. This is how we declare tuple with parentheses. Okay, that will create me an empty tuple. And to create a tuple with few elements, we can use simply like we used to create our list, but with parentheses instead of a square bracket. This is also give me a tuple. and suppose we want to declare our tuple with just one element. But here we can see we are giving comma at the end. Okay, so suppose we want to create a tuple with just one element in that. How we have to do it? We can go ahead and use this comma at the end to create the tuple. Okay, why? Because suppose if we remove this tuple, what will suppose we if we remove this comma from the end, what will happen? See, my type has changed to int. Why? Because, for example, whenever we do addition, multiplication of integers, how we do it? We have this thing to write like this, like 1 plus 2 divided by 3, right? We write within a parenthesis. So, by default, if we just give an integer within a parenthesis, it take it as integer, okay? But if we give the comma at the end, now it considered it as a tuple. Okay, so this is how Python will behind the scene identify, okay, integer within a parenthesis is a type of integer, but integer with a comma within a parenthesis is a tuple. Okay, so this is how we declare a tuple. Now coming to the property of tuple. So basically tuple is, if I say, it is immutable. Okay, why I am saying that? For example, we have a list like 1 2 3 and we want to update my 0th index element to 5. Now if I print my list, okay, we can get 5 to 3. My 0th index element has been updated. But this thing we cannot do in tuple. We cannot update our element. Okay. For example, we can definitely access our element here. For example, suppose I want to access my element over here. T1 of 0. Let me print it. Identifiable tuple. Okay, let me print it. See, we can fetch the element, but suppose if we want to update this element like we did here for the list, we won't be able to do it. For example, I want to replace it. Now let's see what error we are getting. Tuple object does not support item assignment. That means my tuple is immutable. We cannot update the element of the tuple. So that's why in the very beginning I told you that tuple is somewhat similar to string and somewhat similar to list. So because our string is also immutable, if we have seen in our previous lecture that we cannot modify the element at any position or any index in string. Only we can do that in list because list is very flexible and it is immutable actually. Okay, so this is the property of tuple and this is how we can access similar to list the element of my tuple. Okay, how to add an element in the tuple? Basically, we cannot update the element of tuple because it is immutable. But suppose if we want to add an element in the tuple, okay, so there is a way to do that, but it is not going to update or add in the same tuple. It will create a new tuple for me. For example, here only, let me remove this, otherwise we are going to get an error for this. Okay, so for example, t1 is equal to t1 plus 5 comma. Okay, now print append tuple t1. Okay, what will happen? Now 5 is added. Okay, but directly we cannot add here in the same tuple. It is a new tuple. Okay, it has created in the backend. Okay, so these are some of the properties, and this is how we deal with tuple. So I will comment all these things because we are going to move to set. Okay, so now coming to set. Set is again another structure or built-in data type which is similar to both string and list again, because set has a property as immutable element but mutable set. See, now it has both the property being mutable and being immutable element. Okay, what I mean by that? For example, first we will see how to declare a set. So to declare an empty set, we can use this. Now we can use this print type of, not set. Let me make it as, because like we already seen in our first lecture that we cannot use a keyword as a variable. Okay, so that's why I have removed it. Now if I see the type of my set, see, it is a class of set. Now we want to declare a set with few elements. Then in here, the thing to notice that now it is curly braces. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now if I want to print the type of this is my S1. Okay, so empty set, how we can declare like this. Set with few elements, how we can declare it like this. Okay, now coming to this property, like I'm saying that my set is mutable. What does it mean? It means that I can add an element, remove an element, pop an element from my set. But we have seen that in tuple that is not allowed. That's why my tuple was immutable. But I am saying my set is mutable like list. So we can add an element using add function to my set. Okay, print S1. See, an element has been added. Now if I want to remove 3 from here, we can remove an element from my set. Now 5 has been removed. Okay, and there is one more function, pop. It will remove mostly from the beginning, but it does not expect any parameter. Let's see what pop is doing. See, this is what pop is doing. Okay, now there is one more function. Suppose I want to clear my set, then I can use this function to clear my set. See, now my set has become an empty set. Now one more property of set is unique. Set can have only unique elements. Set cannot allow to have duplicate elements. For example, now we have seen that my S1 is empty. Okay, now I want to add 10 in my set S1. Let's see. As we have seen above, it will add an element in my set, right? Now I want to add 10 again. Basically, I want to add duplicate in my set. What is happening? Nothing. Okay. So this is the property of set, that set cannot have duplicate. Only unique elements are being stored in set. Okay, so this is 3 very important property of set, and one more is that my set is unordered. Okay, that means even though we sort set, we are not going to get the element in the order. Okay, so that's why it is called set is unordered, unique, mutable set, but immutable elements. So what is the meaning of immutable elements? That means, like we have seen, we can add, remove, pop, clear my set. But if I want to update, for example, there is a element at my 0th index, that is 10, and I want to make it 11. Okay, now if I want to print as 1, okay, is it possible? No, because set does not support item assignment. That means my element of set is immutable. We cannot update the element, modify the element, but set can be modified. I can add, remove the element in the set. Okay, but element I cannot modify. Okay, so these are some of the important properties of set. Again, you are not going to get a problem directly on set, but these properties we can utilize to make our code very flexible and make our code very less complex. Okay, so जैसे जैसे आप स्टार्ट करोगे कोडिंग करना, like I said earlier also, you are going to utilize these features of set and tuple to make your code very less complex. Okay, for example, we can solve one very easy problem. I will show you like how we can make our code less complex. Okay, for example, simple problem that we have to remove duplicate from list. For example, I have list nums. Okay, 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5, comma 5, comma 5, comma 5. Okay. So, for example, I have a duplicate of 5 and I want to make my list duplicate free, basically unique. Okay, so how we can do that? If we know that there is a set and property of set, that set can only accept unique element, it cannot have duplicate. What we can do, we can just write the code in one line, that I will just create a new variable and I will make my num, okay, unique. Okay, see, it has removed the duplicate, or we can modify our nums directly and we can remove duplicate from our nums. Okay, see, so because we knew like set has a property of uniqueness, it will remove the duplicate from my list and make my list unique. Okay, suppose we didn't know about set, we don't know set, we don't know the set property unique. Okay, so what we can do, we can write this code in a very long way. For I in nums, for example, and then what I will do, I will create one more list. I will empty list I will create and we'll start adding an elements there. Okay, for example, I will create one list, empty list. Okay, and what I will do, I will check if I not in L, then only append. Okay, I. Now, after coming out of this, print long logic. Okay, and this is my L if I want to print that. See, it is again removing the duplicate but long way, and if we knew set, we can use this one line code and make our list unique. Okay, so this is what we have learned today, tuple and set. And like I said, you can start solving problem on list and you can utilize this functionality of set and tuple to make your code less complex. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. I will share all these things in the description box. You can go ahead and check it. Okay, thanks all. Thank you guys for watching my videos. If you like the videos, please like, subscribe and share, because it gives me motivation and I will keep creating like this kind of videos. And if you think that I have missed something, some of the topic I have missed, and you think that some of the topics needs more explanation, a separate video, then go ahead, put it in the comment box. I regularly monitor the comment box, and if I think that more demands are coming to make a separate video on certain topic, I will be more than happy to create that video. Yeah, so that's all from my side. Thank you and keep watching. I hope that this will help you to build your career. Yeah, so from that, if you want like guidance to build your career in the data engineering, then feel free to connect with me over TopMate. I will be leaving my link of TopMate in the description. You can connect with me over TopMate. Suppose if you are a fresher and you are in your last year of college, and if you are already have like working somewhere and you want to change your domain to data engineering, or maybe if you are working already in data engineering and want to switch to a better company, then please go ahead and connect with me over the TopMate. I will be there to guide you like how you can switch a job from one role to another, how you can switch from your current company to better company, like what are the tools and technology you need to focus on, what are the methods and what are the ways you have to like start preparing. So yeah, because I have total 8 years of experience in this domain, data engineering domain, and I have like enough experience. I have switched multiple jobs, so I know like how to prepare for interviews and what are the things you have to focus on so that you can crack a good company. So yeah, feel free to connect with me over the TopMate, and then we will discuss more about it. And if you want also to like review your resume, then you can also connect with me over TopMate. Like I said, I will available over there, and we can connect over there to talk about it and discuss about it. And
Thank you everyone for watching the video. अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो do like, share and subscribe.